Hey fam, hey, welcome back to my channel. We are slowly making our way to the finish line of Sister Wives season 18 with only one more episode until Christine and David's wedding special part 1 on January 7th. Yes, you heard me right, part 1. So I can only imagine that the beginning of part 1 into the end of part 1 is probably going to be a lot of Christine's preparation, picking out the flowers, maybe picking out the dress, all the things that she's going to do in full view of everyone, and probably not have David swoop in on the end and pick the dress for her. Then I'm going to imagine that the following parts, I don't know if there's more than part 2, but I would say part 2 is probably going to be the wedding itself, and we will get a first-hand look at who was actually there, who came, who wore the colors, all that great stuff. I am excited to see what happens, but before we get into all of that, before we even get to that episode, we've got to deal with the episode that we watched last night. So this was the Talk Back part 2, where they sat on the couch for the second hour and watched the finale of season 18. So this was very Mary, Robin, Kody heavy, with some here and there from Janelle and Christine. There was a lot, and I have a lot to say. We're going to get in here right after the jingle. All right, family, welcome back to After the Jingle. I hope that you enjoyed my jingle choice for this week. You know, I have come up with an entire theory about how you could actually compare this show to the Hunger Games. And I'm going to do that in another video because I just think that's so much fun. I don't think I've ever said it here on this channel, but I am a huge Hunger Games fan. I will say that my favorite versions of the Hunger Games were 1 and 2. After that, I got a little disinterested. And then if you have not seen The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, you need to go and check that out. Now, if you are reading the book, I say go ahead and finish the book before you see the movie. But if you were to go see the movie without reading the book, you would still have a wonderful time. Now, let's jump into the Sister Wives review. Although it's not really a review, it's again just some things that popped out at me because, of course, we have seen these flashbacks over the years a multitude of times. But now we get a chance to sit with them as they see the episodes again, and we get to hear their honest feedback because they are by themselves and not in a room with anyone else. We open this episode with Mary kind of reflecting back on their 32nd anniversary and talking about how, you know, he had really kind of abandoned her way before the catfishing incident. And we have come to, of course, learn that that is true because when Robin came into the family, there's been the debate about whether he was wearing a wedding ring or not. But we know that Mary said that he actually melted their wedding ring down so that she did not have any hold on him. And then, of course, you know, it has come out that he was wearing a wedding ring. But of course, our favorite person, Sobbin' Robin, she tries to pretend that he was not wearing one and that he did that way before she ever came into the picture. So, of course, making sure that she can distance herself as far as she can away from that happening. We talked about how, you know, he says, I don't understand why she keeps playing this thing of him saying that he didn't consider himself married to Mary. Mary did not hear that until she watched the episode. And of course, Christine chimes in and says, can you imagine hearing that on television? Like, I think that before you do that, that could have been even a text. You know, we know that he didn't go to her house. He didn't spend much time with her. But come on, a text, a phone call to just say, this is how I feel, right? You could have done that. But then here's your buddy over here. And we all know that she knows this before she pretends to not know it when we see her on TV. If she was your friend, she would have fought for you. Because even in the moment of them sitting on the couch and rewatching this play out, he accuses Mary of being addicted to being a victim. And all she can do is make this face. Number one, this face says, I'm not going to rock the boat because I still have 2 small children and I still have to provide for them. And I still have to make sure that I am in the cut when it comes to finances. Then when those children are maybe grown and ready to go off, then I can leave with my 40 acres and my 15 million and whatever it is. I'm making up numbers. I'm totally making up numbers. But she's at least going to leave with her property. Unless they decide to sell the whole property. She's going to leave with some equity in a home, depending on what he does with that, because of course he's a very cunning man. We see how he's cutting Janelle out of what she's owed. So, Robin, I wouldn't feel too safe if I were you. But I do think that a lot of her responses are out of survival mode. And I've said that about her before. On the other hand, she just doesn't say anything to say, I think it's unfair for you to say that she's addicted to being a victim when for 10 years you've been stringing her along. Because if she didn't believe that, she would not feel that she needed to be in that champion position of just hang on, just hang on. See, he says nice things when she's not around that makes me think that he might want to get back with her. He even says it sitting on the couch. I went to her and I was thinking, maybe we could reconcile because what you did in the catfishing wasn't a physical thing, blah, blah, blah. But every time I spent time with her, it was just uncomfortable. Okay, well, again, you could have shared that with her, and you can't tell me that you didn't share that with Robin. Of course, we hear Janelle say, listen, we loved Robin's kids. We were ready for them to come in. We were accepting of them. We welcomed them with open arms. But this response came from a viewer saying to Mary, it seems like bringing a wife in after you all had been married for so long. It seemed like bringing that wife in was not a great idea. And of course, Mary then tries to soften it up and say, well, at the time, we thought that this was a great idea. I still think it was a great idea. Things happen, things shift. Well, where's the common denominator in that? Right? Because if you are not proving my point was a response, Mary's response would be exactly what it is. You're proving our point. Everything was great. Everything was gravy. Yes, you had your issues, but you were working them out. I'm talking about things like being able to share a kitchen. You found a way to not have to do that, and you started to work. You and Janelle, you got back to a place where even Janelle came to you and said, hey, let's work this out. Now, I know that was after Robin, but it was still at a place, I think, even early on where you could coexist at least. You might not have been the best of friends, but then bringing this person in really pushed the envelope. It really pushed you all to the edge. And I think that is what this viewer, in asking that question or making that statement, was trying to get at. So yes, Robin coming into the family was the last straw. I want to go ahead and point something out here. In talking about how Kody has treated Mary over the years since Robin has come into the family and since kind of the dissolution of their marriage, whether it was literally or figuratively, I feel like Christine and Janelle really have started to sort of support Mary in how she must have been feeling at those times, how she must be feeling now to watch her marriage break up again, knowing that Robin wasn't really on her side. Now stay with me. Is it possible that they could work things out and come around to some sort of a friendship? Now, granted, they haven't seen each other. They haven't talked to each other. But I think that once they're able to sit and watch what we have watched and really take some time to think it through, they may be able to come around to some sort of friendship. Will it come at the expense of all sharing a common enemy? Who cares? Who cares? You all have been through a lot together. And if that is what brings you together, it's a sad way to come together, but maybe it will bring you together. Maybe you will find some strength and some healing in being able to maybe one day just sit down. I'm not saying be best friends, but maybe sit down and just talk about what really happened. Not what Robin said to Mary, not what Kody said to Christine, not what Kody said to Janelle, but really look each other in the eye and say, this is what I said. This is what I felt. This is what I did. But can we now move past it? You no longer have a horse in the race. You are all going off and living your separate lives. I hope it works out for them. I can't say that Mary is still my favorite person, but I don't know none of them. So, I'm all about people finding a common ground. And if you can just even say hi, you ain't got to go out to dinner every week. I mean, there's people that I like that I ain't going to dinner, whatever. But, sometimes you just want to clear the air and move on. Not that you need it like Robin does. You don't need for any of them to come to any one of them and say, yes, you can go and have a wonderful life. Robin is the only one who needs that. And that's a little, I don't even know what the word is about that. That's a little immature. Let's just leave it at that. I love that Janelle is using her rescue your own damn self mug. I need to get me one of those mugs. Where can I get one of them, Janelle? You selling those? Is that part of your merch? Robin, I swear, she is hell-bent on staying and looking mad. You know how when you discipline a child and they feel like they want to get you back, or they're going to make you feel bad by pouting and stomping around and slamming doors and, just being a brat? I feel like that's the position she's taken. I'm really beginning to feel, again, let me just say this because I said it in my last video. I am not a psychologist nor a psychiatrist. I cannot diagnose anyone. I can only give you my opinion and what I see. I can also compare it to having been a teacher for 20 plus years and seeing this behavior. I taught kindergarten through high school, but I saw this behavior. Actually, I also taught pre-K. I saw this behavior in my pre-K through first grade kids, right? It's when you discipline them and they feel like it's going to hurt your feelings if they are mad. And they're going to show you on their face that they're mad. They're going to pout because they're mad. They're not going to do anything because they're mad. And they think that it's hurting you. Robin, have you ever heard the saying that staying angry is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die? It ain't going to happen. You better turn that frown upside down, boo. You got what you wanted. You got your man. Why you mad? Robin is big mad. Whatever. She just wants to be mad for mad's sake. Okay. She won't even look at the camera. If anyone except for Mary speaks, she won't look at the camera. She'll look down. She's picking at her nails. She's touching her hair. Grow up, girl. You got a whole, 3-4 children to raise, and you got a husband to take care of. Stop it. Christine or Janelle, those are just my two favorite. And I just love that they don't care. They're like, whatever, I'm going to do my thing. So a viewer writes in and says to Kody and Robin, hey, listen, I'm glad that you found each other. That's great. But why don't y'all just say that and move on? So Kody immediately takes offense. He's on the defense already. He's ready to jump this person. I think you've been listening and watching too many tabloids. And Robin all but manhandles him, puts her hand over his mouth, which I'm going to tell you is the most unsanitary thing a person can do. Do not ever put your hands over somebody's mouth. Not only is it dirty, it's disrespectful. But she puts her hand over his mouth as if to tell him to be quiet, and then goes on to say, that's not what he meant. He was trying to be kind. I swear I think they got together and decided, I'm going to be good cop, you be bad cop. I'm going to be the one to do all the rah, 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 and you be the one to go, they're just being kind, Kody. I think they decided to do that, and it's really boring. As we've continued to go through these episodes and watch the episodes with us, it just seems that Kody is pretty much going to be mad at the wives for everything. If he wakes up in the morning on the wrong side of the bed, it's going to be Christine's fault. If he stubs his toe on the bedpost, it's going to be Janelle's fault. If his hair doesn't curl right, it's going to be Mary's fault. I feel like he's mad at them for absolutely everything, except he's not mad at Robin for doing what he said she did, which is to give Mary mixed signals about how he was feeling. Why aren't you mad at her for that? There's a wife that's speaking for you, that's kind of doing what you don't want him to do. You told Janelle not to speak for you to his kids. So how come Robin gets to speak for you to everybody else? She's like, because she speaks Kody. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forget because it's just the most ridiculous thing that I think every time I say that whole speaking Kody thing, it just leaves my brain. It's like vapor. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for coming on the scene. Jen comes on the scene and decides, she wants to go ahead and watch and talk back too. And she says that basically Robin is very manipulative, right? She thinks that she's selfish. Now, I do agree that Robin is manipulative, even in how she's behaving in front of the camera watching these episodes. By her sitting and doing all of the picking of the nails and playing with the hair, it's a look at me, look how hurt I've become. Look at what a victim I am. See how I can't watch them talk about the destruction of our family. No, what you can't watch them or hear them talk about is that you came in and destroyed the family. The family was not doing great anyway. So yes, we can lay this in the lap of Kody. I get it. He should have known better than to be bringing in someone into this mess, but he's done it before. Christine explained to us several seasons ago, like right at the beginning, that bringing in a third wife is great. It's a great position to be in, because if the two wives that are already there are not getting along, the third wife can then come in and calm things down. And I really think that's what he did with Robin. He wasn't in love with Mary anymore. He wasn't really having a romantic type of relationship with Janelle. He was also starting to feel that teeter-totter of, I don't know, with Christine. So bring in Robin. And it worked. It worked for him. It didn't work for the family as a whole, but it did work for him. But like I said, Jen comes in and she's watching and she's doing some talking back. And finally, she calls Robin out and says she's selfish and that she didn't try to make this marriage work. She didn't do anything to help this marriage work. Having Mary stay, telling Mary to hold on was all selfish for her, right? But of course, Mary stays loyal to Robin, and Jen, she ain't buying it. She says that Robin probably feels really bad and blah, blah, blah. And Jen's like, yeah, but if she felt that bad, then she should have spoken up for you. She should have stood up for you in those moments when she could have. And as we know, she didn't. I love that when Robin starts to lose it on the park bench and walks away and does her dramatic, I'm going to go for a walk. Both Christine and Janelle give us the look that we have had looking at this madness every time we've seen it. Christine just goes, oh, my Lord. Janelle rolls her eyes, as you see here in the picture, and is like, here we go. Looks like there's that dramatic personality that the personality test talked about that you didn't take. So then, of course, Christine says, well, then if you can't be there, if you don't want to be there to hear this, then get in the car. Get in the car. I think that Christine needs to come out. Now, this was my idea, but I'm going to give it to Christine. I think Christine needs to come out with a line of merch. And she needs to put some of those taglines on it because she has some good ones. Of course, we saw the What Does the Nanny Do t-shirt come out, but I think she has a couple more taglines. I could tell you in private, Christine, if you want to give me a call. I love that Mary wanted to have the breakup happen, the divorce talk happen on camera. That was so smart of her. Such a smart move, because now she can say it wasn't just in private. Now she can hold his feet to the fire. And the one good thing about Robin being there is that Robin can hear the things that Kody is saying. But of course, to Robin, it sounds like a completely different conversation. She hears things that just are not being said. Christine says, why is she back? Why did she come back? If it's not about her, why is she back? Same question we asked. Why are you there in the first place? Okay, Mary wanted you there. Mary then says to Jen, or I think Jen maybe says to Mary, you have all these love letters from him that proves that he loved you. So again, it is proven that, Kody's a bunch of poppycock, and he's saying that he never loved these women when we know that he did. He then says that he stays with them, and he has said before, out of duty. That comes up again. And I love that Janelle points out, you're not the only one that can do things out of duty and commitment and having made a covenant. You're not the only one who stayed because of that. You are not this awesome, fine, whatever, rich man where anything you do is acceptable because we just have to be with you. Nobody but Robin believes that. Nobody but Robin. Why did he feel he needed to make a pact with Robin at the beginning of their marriage? Again, another reason that I was happy to have Jen show up for Mary, because she was able to say, did something happen before they got married? Did he tell her something about you before he got married to then make her say to him, if you ever feel this way, then please let me go. See, you can't tell me Robin don't be knowing stuff before it's said. Of course not. Mary and Robin grab hands at the table, and we see that ring that matches Kody's point towards the sky. And I swear in my head, I heard, Robin Brown, you are the victor of the season 18 Hunger Games. I swear that's what I heard. Did anybody else hear it? That's why I chose the opening that I did. This show is truly like the Hunger Games if you think about it. They show the family in Flagstaff for the first time. We flash back to when they talked about the pond that was filled with the dangerous, I think, some sort of animal poo that they really shouldn't have been swimming in, but they did. They were so excited. They took off some of their tops and things and jumped in. And we see way more of Kody than we need to see. And Mary does point out that fact. But it shows them all having such a wonderful time. Mary smiles. Christine smiles. Janelle remembers fondly. And Robin is sitting on the couch looking like a sourpuss. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Now, I want to go ahead and look at some of the postings that I have seen, and I just had to take pictures of them and just, look at what people are saying about different things on this show. I am not going to give anyone's whole name because these are just commitments that stood out to me. But Tina C wrote, I remember the whole commitment ceremony as a farce, another excuse to grandstand and waste money. Obviously, this ceremony didn't mean anything since Kody was only in love, in quotes, with Robin. Right. So if you were pretending this entire time, you really felt like spending all the money that you spent was a good idea? You had just bought these really expensive homes in Las Vegas, and now you're bringing people in to witness this farce. I wonder what some of those guests think now. Some of those people that maybe have traveled there to be at this commitment ceremony, what are you thinking now? Wow. Thank you, Tina, for that, because, yeah. Daisy G says, watching this clip of Robin made me think of how Christine reacted to Kody picking out Robin's wedding dress. But Christine was more sincere and convincing. Maybe Robin is rewatching the past seasons to learn new tricks. Yeah, this whole hyperventilating thing, she didn't even hyperventilate, right? She literally went from 0 to I can't in so short of time. It cannot be real. It cannot be real. At least when she had her hyperventilating episode sitting on the couch at one point, I can't remember what season it was, she at least started with some breathing and you really felt worried about her, like you thought she might pass out or something. But this time, and for the rest of the time after that, it's just been fake after fake after fake after fake. I know some acting teachers if you need a hookup, because if you're going to keep doing this, you're going to need to get that straight. You're going to need to get that straight. Wendy L also said, wow, that was fast. Not even a buildup. She went from nothing to hyperventilating and having to leave in 2 seconds. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. All right, y'all, that's all I got. If I missed something, of course, like I said, I was just talking about those few things that jumped out to me. We have an episode coming on tomorrow night. Actually, by the time you get this, it will be tonight. And that will be our final episode of Watching and Looking Back. And then we move on, like I said, to Christine's and David's wedding special. And I'm so excited about it. Now, don't remember, if there's something you want to do, go ahead and do it. Life is short. There is enough room for everybody. And as Janelle's mug says, rescue your own damn self. All right, everybody. Peace, love, and hair grease. We out.